Hello dear VIPs, greetings to you once more. It's your guy Mr. Time from Time Engineering Academy here. We're having our part 3 of our tutorial this morning. So the part 3 of this tutorial, we are diving straight into the modeling of our structure. Okay, so those who that have AutoCAD, those who want to follow the same principles that I do follow, like I explained yesterday, I always have to take my ideas into line work by just doing some line work into AutoCAD. Okay, and also trying to understand the structural functionality before I then go to model them. Okay, because I'm not just so concerned too much focus about aesthetics, I'm also concerned about the structural safety and the structural function. Okay, so I usually do my line work here to make sure that I also position my columns to know how it's going to function structurally. Okay, so in AutoCAD, what I usually do is that I work in meter. You can also work in millimeters. You do a lot in AutoCAD. So what I do in AutoCAD is that I first of all set my unit. So if you want to set your unit, you just type UN on your keyboard. So you just say UN and then you press enter. You see your unit coming up right now. So this is your unit. So you have to just change it to what measurement you want to use, your drawing unit that you want. So mine is going to be in meters, and then you don't want to change the scale, just allow it like that. But preferably you probably want to change it if you want to have a particular scales of your drawing. So when I change my unit, that is all. I probably want to change the precision to decimal places. Then I click on apply. Usually a dialog box will appear to for you to choose the way you want it to go. So you always see the recommended. So you choose the first option above and then you click OK, and that is it. So the next thing I usually do is that I like to work with different line types. Okay, different. I want to change. How do we do it? I want to choose the different kind of line that I want, and then their colors so that it differentiates my drawing. Okay, like for now, if you see, this is a column, the name here say column line, right? And then this one here says t-axis. Okay, so I usually want to put it in terms of the name of the client, like Terry axis, whatever. So you have something like that. So how do you define it? You have to click on this icon here, layer property. When you click on layer properties, you see all the different layers that you have. It's always a good practice for you to create your own layers to work with. Okay, so that you can off them at a particular time. Because if I come to my drawing now and say I don't want terrain axis, once I click on it, they say do turn off current layer. Let's say turn it off. Don't see it at all. Okay, I want to froze it, not to show. So they say, well, the current layer is cannot be frozen because it's in use. Okay, so I want to change and put on another axis so that I can be able to froze that axis. So let me use this axis. To choose a particular axis, you don't have to double click on it. Okay, so they have this check mark by the side here. It tells you that that is the axis that is in use, and up here you also see it a wall, that is the axis that is in use. So I want to froze this terrain axis, this one down here. The red one is the one that is in use here. So I'll come down to this icon here. You see it, you froze it. So when I click on it, everything disappear. Everything that is in that layer automatically disappear. And when you look at it, you will see you can lock the layer so that you cannot delete it. So if you lock this layer, you cannot delete it at all. When you click on it, to probably you select it, you want to delete it, it will not go. Okay, you cannot delete it, so you have to unlock it back so that you can be able to delete it. So when I click on it and I click on erase, now you see it disappearing. So I'll just say undo. Undo is Control Z on your keyboard, or you click on this icon here to go back. Okay, so let's say this is locked. Just to demonstrate again, I click on it and then press delete on your keyboard, or click on erase. You see you cannot erase that line, that layer, because it's locked. Okay, so I usually create new ones and then give them a line type, color, and then line weight. Okay, so let me open this to be a little bit big again. For you to open it, just go by the side here to see there's this double-headed arrow that appears. For you to open it wide, and then you can carry it by the side, click and hold, probably bring it to the center like this. So I want to click a new layer, so you just go to this icon by the on the top here. You see the first one here, new layer, O Alt N. So you press Alt plus N you can have it. Okay, so I'll just click on it. You see new layer, I can give it a name. I can just say uh training, for instance. Okay, I can just say training. Then the next thing that will comes up is the kind of color you want. Okay, the color you want to use for your line. So I can say green. Okay, and then I take okay. Then the kind of line type that you want. Do you want a continuous line, dashed line, whatever? Probably let's say that is an axis line. So an axis line is supposed to be center line, right? So you can use center line here for your axis line. So I'm going to use center line. You can choose any of them. And if you don't have the particular line type that you want, you can always click on load. So you see a lot of them appearing here. You load the particular one that you want. Let's say I want to load this I don't want dot. Let's say I want to do hot water line. You see DHW hot water line. So you just click on it and say okay. So now if we go to this we'll go to our drawing here. We should see DH, that is it. That is hot water line here, domestic hot water line. So I don't want to use that one. Or let's say we want to use it. For instance, this is it. I just select on it and then I say okay. So you see it appearing here, and you want to give it a line weight. Okay, you want to give it a line weight. In Revit, it's different from the way it's been here. Okay, they give it in 0 point. In Revit, it's given as 1 to probably any number that you want. So for 1 is a thin line. You go up, the more you go up, the thicker it becomes. Okay, so this one gives you even the represented the way it's looking like. Okay, so you can choose the line that you want. Let's say for this one is a center line. Probably I want to use a very thin line. I don't want something too thick so that will distract my view. Okay, or when I print it on the sheet, it shouldn't be showing too much. Okay, so I always want to go 0.09 or 0.13. Okay, so let me take 0.09 for instance, and then that is it. Okay, this one is the plot style, so I don't want to change it. It's just normal. So this is the line that we have created. So if I want to make it active, I double click here on this page here. Just double click at the end there, you see it active up here. Okay, or if you don't want to go down that road, let's say this one is active, I can always come here, select it, and then go down and select training. You see that it's checked here too, right? So I close this by the side and then I draw. You see, when I draw now, you see my line appearing in green. Okay, in green and with the same scales that I wanted. Okay, and again, probably some people have the AutoCAD in black and in black backgrounds. Okay, so I like to use white because it actually show me how it's going to look like on papers. Okay, so you can decide to use your own black. You can allow it, you can change it to white. So how do you change it? You can right click here and then you choose options, or you type the options yourself. You right click on the taskbar and then you say option, just say option, type option. You see it appear here, right? So just click on options, and then on option again, you want to go to display field tab. Okay, this color here, and this color is under what do we have here? It's under display. So you click on color here, and then this is where you change it. So you click here, you can select a particular color or you give your own color. So mine is not too white, so you see the color, the RGB color that I have, that is red. And so this is my color, that is red, I think blue and green. So you just have to go down here, probably want to choose a particular color, and then you come down and choose your color as you want. So this is mine here. You see the position where I choose it, right? You can give it a little bit of make it a little bit heavier, like you increase the line weight. I said the line weight, no, you increase the saturation of that one, the luminosity, how bright it's going to be, right? So you go here, it becomes too dark, it's almost like transparency. Okay, so I just increase it a little bit, or let me allow it the way it was before. I think I've changed it a bit. Let me go up again, and then you choose okay. If you want to choose a particular line color, so you can come to color index and then you choose a particular background that you want. Okay, so you can choose something like this and then you say okay. You see the way it appears here, right? So I'm not going to go with that one. I'm going to go with my previous color, that is this one, right? And then you just say apply and then you close. So you see your background changing. Again, I always like to come and have my crosshair to 100. Crosshair is so let me apply the changes. Crosshair is the cross, this arrow here. You see the way my own is long to infinity, right? So you see, you don't see the end of it. Okay, this one is like you're almost seeing the end of it, but you don't want to see the end of it in my case. Okay, so I'll just say option again. Let me close out here, and then escape. By just, you want to cancel a particular command, you just press escape on your keyboard. Okay, so I'm going to go to option again, and on options I want to bump this one to 100, my crosshair to 100, so it goes to infinity. So if I drop it down like 7, you see the way my crosshair is. So you see it, the way it's short, right? So that is just the crosshair that it's talking about. So I like to have my own really long, so it depends on your own preference again. And I want to always have my eye smoothness to 2000, 20,000, sorry. So you always want to check that one and change it. And then drafting, I want to increase my selection box. This is auto snap box. It should be a little bit bigger. And then aperture size, I don't really know. This is just the size of the box that is on your crosshair, right? So you want to take it a little bit up, and then I think you go to selection, and then you check this one. This is your selection box, right? So pick box, this is the box that help you to pick sizes, and then the grid sizes, you want to increase it a little bit. So that is just it, and then you apply and you hit okay. Okay, so that is it on you changing the background of your key or of your AutoCAD working space environment, the background. Okay, so it's infinity, you can do so many things here, you can have so many drawings. So most of the engineers that I see, what they do is that they want to do everything on a single drawing board. Okay, so you cannot have everything here. Always have the habit of creating new sheets, for not new sheet, new working environment for different projects. Okay, so you don't want to probably mistakenly delete one project and cry for a very long time. Okay, that will really traumatize you. So always try to create something new. Or if you don't want to go down that road, there is also a principle that I usually follow. So if I want to start a new drawing, let's say here I've really have a particular layer for my text, I have a particular layer for my dimension. Okay, so if I click on this dimension line, I didn't talk about that one. So you see my snapped, you see this snapping tool here, it tells you that it's perpendicular, right? Usually achieve that one by right clicking on this snap cursor here. So you right click on this one, and then you go to object snapping settings. Okay, I always like to check everything here, so you just come down and allow and check everything here. Okay, you probably use this one, you check everything. So general, you check everything here. So midpoint, end point, so that when you don't want to make mistakes in snapping at a particular point. Okay, so I check everything here, and then I hit on okay. So when I go to a particular line like this one, so my snapping is off, so you just have to click it back on. So this is it, I didn't check it. So when I'm here, you see it's a nearness. Okay, so here it's perpendicular to the particular line, you see perpendicular again. So when you look at my dimension style here, you see the arrow size is very small, it's slanted, architectural tick, so it's slanted, and then the size of it. And then since I use everything to be by layer, when I draw on a particular layer, it's going to follow that layer that is currently active, right? So my layer here is dash line, and probably you probably might be wondering why is it that it's dark when the line color is green. Okay, so let's go to let's say annotation, and then on annotation we want to hit on, I think, dimension, and then dimension style. So let's hit on this arrow here. I usually just type DW. So this dimension style, this is text style, sorry. So what I do is that I just go to DM, DM, and then you see dimension style, so it opens like this. Okay, so I have this particular text style that I use. I define it myself. Probably in a separate video, I'm going to show you how to define a particular a layer for your text, or for a particular kind of dimension layer. Okay, I'm going to show you a particular text layer in the next video, but probably here I already have this one that I use, and you can always use your own. You can create new, you want to have a new layer, you just go by it, and then you choose something, a particular text style that you have created before. a start with something. So probably want to start with standard. in this case, right? And then you click continue. You're probably going to have a new dimension style here to work with. So I usually, excuse, so what I do is that I usually just work with what I've defined. So as I said, I'm going to be defining another line type and then dimensions type for you guys to follow with. Okay, so I choose this one and then I just hit current. Before I hit current, I want to modify it to see the different things that is being done here. Okay, so first, under my line here, up here, you see that the color of the dimension is it has a particular color which is black, right? So if I want to use by layer here, I'll choose by layer. You see the line type is going to be by layer. Okay, and then the line type here I used to use by layer, so I want to change everything here by layer, and then I go to extend line. So the extend lines are this line, right? So you want to choose it to be by layer. Okay, so you see it's by layer, but you could choose a particular color for it. Okay, so let's say it's by layer, and then I go next again. So everything here is okay. You see extend beyond dimension lines. So these are the extension beyond dimension line that you want to change. Okay, so since we are working in meters, I want to have it 0.2 extended. Okay, that is 200 okay, so if you're using millimeter, so I'll go to the next one, which is symbol. So I want to choose my architectural tick here. Probably I like it a lot. I use that one. And then for my leader, I want to use close fill. So here again, I can probably use 0.2 again. Okay, so you leave every other thing here the same, and then I go to my text. Okay, this is where the magic, you want to choose a particular text style. Okay, so here probably you might have your own standard. You see time, this is what I define for time. So I have some layers that I define for myself, so I want to use standard, for instance. So standard will come with this. So you have to change, you have to give it a line, a text height here, particular text height for your text, and then you want your text to be above the line, not outside, because you see some people will have it outside, some people will have it below like this, and I've never seen that before. So some people have it center like this. Yeah, this one is common, right? So I like to have it above my line, right? And then above the line, you always have to get the text a little bit, not to be lying on the line, like it should be a little bit up. So you want to take this dimension a little bit up so that you have the text not lying directly on the line. Okay, so you can go with what works for you there. So I usually go 0.5, 0.05. Okay, and then you align, it can be horizontal. So when you see it's horizontal, all the text becomes horizontal, like this one here. I don't think this is a good practice, right? So you go align with dimension line, so it follows the dimension lines and align with it automatically. You can go with ISO standard, international standard. Okay, so this one to either two of this. So this one is actually aligned with, so no matter how tilted the dimension is, it's just going to align with the line. Okay, so that is what probably you want to check here, or you choose this one. Okay, so you go to fit, there's nothing here for you to change. For instance, just leave it as default, and then you go to primary unit, and then primary unit here, you want to change your decimal places. Okay, how many decimal places you want for your text and that. So I usually, when I'm working with meter, I go to decimal place. When it's millimeter, probably I don't want to have decimal place with millimeter. Okay, so they say unit format decimeter. Okay, don't use scientific or engineering or architectural. They are going to give you something a little bit complicated, so go with decimal. And then probably for meta, I choose 2 decimal places. Okay, and then for the precision, for that's my precision, 2 decimal places. Angular dimension, like giving dimensions for angles, probably you want to go with 1 decimal place, or you just have to leave it at 0. Okay, like having just 1 decimal, no decimal place at all. So when you're done there, you probably just hit on OK, and then since you're on that one again, I'm just going to hit set current, and then they are telling me that this is not, that I should continue. Do I want to continue with what I've changed? I said okay, no problem, and then I hit set current, and that is it. Apply. So if you look at my text now, you see that, if you look at it now, you see everything has changed. See the mark is now green, the color is green, but what happened that my text is too small again. So can we check that? Just press DM on your keyboard again. Okay, just press D on your keyboard to use that, and then let's click back on modify, and go to text, and then it's point 2, but why is it smaller again? So let's check what happened that the text is too small. Probably we'll have to make it 2, for instance. I think 2 will be too much for this text. Why? Let me see what is happening there. Okay, so I think that is it. It actually works back in, it doesn't take point like that. Okay, so I think that is it. So you see that point 0.5 gap that we gave from the obsession from the origin. Okay, so offset from origin, so this is 8.05. Probably you might want to do a little bit more there. So I'll go back here and go to modify, and then come down here and use, like, let's say, point 0.1 for instance. You take OK, you hit up set current, and then you close. You see it steps up a little bit again. So that is it for your dimensions. And that, as I'm in a separate video, I'm going to be explaining how to create a particular dimension style and things like that. Okay, so for my own previous work, I'll just want to go back with my text type. Let me modify it a bit, and then use this th that I usually go with, so you see it's a little bit appealing. So here now I want to change the height, that is the height, italic, and then a particular font name to it. So I like to work with that one. So I'll take OK, and then OK, and then set current, and then close. So you see it appearing. I think it's very nice. I use this one a lot. Okay, so that is it for the dimension. Probably you want to change, and then you set your line type, and then probably, like, for columns here, you see I usually, let's say I want to put this column back, I mistakenly delete it. Okay, so I'll copy it back to its position. So using the center line, I'll drag it back to this position. Okay, so that is all for this part here. I'm going to now go straight into exporting this into Revit. Okay, so I explained this drawing yesterday. I'm going to delete this, and something to note is that probably you want to choose an origin for your drawing. So since they are both Autodesk softwares, it's always good for you to have a common origin, right? Because Revit will want to pick the same origin you're exporting from AutoCAD with. Okay, so I usually select my drawing, and then I want to start with I want my ground floor, or like the basement, to be my origin, right? So I'll start here, giving like the origin around here. So I'll click here, and I'll type 0 on my keyboard, command 0, and hit enter. Okay, so this is my 0 point here. So you see it's so close to it, right? So this is what you want to do, so that when you export your drawing, it actually fit closer to 0 0. It will be 0 0 on in Revit. Okay, it will be 0 0 for you to work with. So you want to do that for you to export, so that you don't export and your drawing is hanging somewhere in space. Okay, so I'm going to save this one right now, and then if I like, I close it. So I might want to close it, or let me save to a particular location where I will not forget. Okay, so it's YouTube content, and that is it. So probably I want to save on the desktop, or let me just allow it at the location where it is. So first session. Okay, so save, and then they say the name is already there. Since I don't want to change the name, or I want to put 1 there, so that, let's see what happens. So I save it again, so you see the name appearing up here with 1 by the side. Okay, YouTube content, that the direction is up there. So I'll close this AutoCAD for now, save. Okay, I'll close AutoCAD, and then go straight to Revit. So in Revit, uh when you have, I have Revit 2023. Okay, probably you might have something different. So but when you open Revit, you see your recent project. If you're just starting new, you just see some sample projects here that will come to Revit file. Okay, so you want to Revit software, so you want to probably open them and see what is being done. So but you want to start a new project, you see like the interface, the welcome page that you have here. You have open, you probably want to open a particular project you work with. You see curtain walls and window family pattern. So I don't want to go with this one. I want to start a new project, and you can open family. These are models. Okay, models are this kind of things that you work with, and then family is probably like something here. You have modeled a particular facade. You see this pattern, which I say we are going to be working with using uh curtain walls, right? So these are all families that I've worked with, the cover page and stuff like that. These ones are families, right? So models are projects that you've worked with here, and then your models, right? And then you have new, you can create a new sheet. You want to start a new project, a new model, right? You have it there. And then family, you open a particular family or you start a new family, right? So I want to start a new model. I want to start a new project from scratch. So I'm going to be clicking on new here. So here I'll be using my template, Time Engineering Academy template 2023, right? Recently I've not updated it, so I'm going to update it. So I said I cannot give out this template because it's my company template again, but I can share something similar with this, similar to this with you guys. Okay, so if you want to just hit me, I'll give you something that you can work with. So usually when you open, you see architectural template. Okay, architectural template. Always go with metrics. Okay, it's because I deleted my own, so you see the imperial. These are the ones that I decided to allow it behind. Okay, so probably I might have a project I want to use architectural imperial template, so I probably might use this one, construction, and then structural template. So I usually go with my own template. This is my template here, so you see it's the first thing here when I open. So I'll just say create new or project template. So I want to create a new project, so I'll start. Okay, just click on OK. So while waiting for Revit to load, I will give you guys a little bit a tip right now. So what I usually do is that when learning a particular software, what I do is that I start a real life project with it. I don't want to go and learn a particular thing and just start. Let me just say, some people want to be writing what they have learned, that you go to command, you write this, you go to no, 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 no. You don't need to be buying a book to learn a software. What you do is I just pick a project, or it probably might not be a real life project. Look for a particular sample of a project online and that you want to mimic, right? You want to make it look the same way, and then you start working on it. Probably something that at the end of the day you can give a client or you can keep in your archives to sell. So you don't want to go around doing things that are not really realistic. Somebody will come to learn how to draw walls and say, okay, this is how they draw wall, and then like that. No, look for a real life project and start drawing. Okay, and start working on it. It will put you to do hard, to work hard, especially if you're in the field already. You can get a client's design, and then since probably you'll be using AutoCAD or other modeling software, SketchUp, something like that, and you want to switch to Revit, take a client projects and challenge yourself with it. It's going to give you nightmare, but you're going to learn the best way. So you learn by practicing. Okay, so that one out of the way. Let's move into Revit. So this is your Revit welcome user interface, right? So when you open Revit, you're being welcomed with this interface here, and this interface is all the tools here are the things that you're going to be using to have your models. These are the different things that I exploit to have the project that you see. So you have the first one here, the property toolbar. So you're going to be using this a lot, and then you have the project browser. Okay, so project browser here where you see the different story that you've defined. So since this is my template, I already have some predefined floor plans or different levels that I've set already, right? I even had a sheet already. There's a sheet already for me to work with. So you see my sheet coming with my name, time engineering, and stuff like that with a. So probably you want to have this, okay, and then you want to set something like this for yourself so that you ease your work. You will not have to always go back and set this thing yourself again, all the time again. So let's start with by